Hello, I am taking on a challenge to beat every playable Nintendo published game. Welcome to the next episode. The next game is Game & Watch Fire Attack. Game & Watch Fire Attack was the 9th game in the Game & Watch widescreen series, and the themes of this one haven't aged very well. You see, in this one, you are playing as a cowboy, fending off Native Americans from attacking a settlement. I'm not going to dwell on this component of the game too much, but I figured there was no way I could get through the summary video of this one without at least touching on the topic. In later versions of the game, they removed the native imagery and instead changed the attackers to just be bandits. In Smash Bros., Game & Watch's Side Smash is a reference to this game, and in the transition to Ultimate, many of Game & Watch's moves were updated to match his appearance in the original games. The new visuals for this one caused some controversy though, and it was modified in the final release to match the changes they made in the later versions of Fire Attack. As I said before, in this one you are fending off against attackers. For whatever reason, your player is using a massive mallet to fend them off. There are two main types of attack you have to deal with. Some come from the bottom and attempt to set fire to the structure directly, while some take a more safe approach and toss torches from afar, aiming at the top of the structure. However, these different types of attacks aren't actually all that different from one another, as you have to deal with them both the exact same way. Similar to Egg and Mickey Mouse, you can move to each of these spots using one of the 4 buttons that correspond to each of the locations. At first glance, this might look really similar to Egg and Mickey Mouse, but only just with a different theme. However, there is one key difference. In this one, whenever you press a button, your character swings his hammer. You can't actually prevent the attacks unless you swing the moment they are in front of you. This may sound like it might complicate things and make it more difficult, but it actually ended up making things easier. You see, in Egg and Mickey Mouse, you had to be in front of the eggs the moment the egg transitioned from their final position. In this one, however, you only have to swing during any moment while they're in their final position, meaning there is actually a much larger window you have to fend off each attack. This also meant that the game was more forgiving if you got the order mixed up, since there was often enough time to just switch to the correct location once you realize that you're focusing on the wrong attack. The timing isn't tight either, and I found you could generally get by with just mashing the button. The only component I had some difficulty with in this one was that since the 2 different types of attacks followed a completely different pattern, I occasionally had a bit more trouble determining the order. In particular, I often found that the guys attacking from below would arrive quicker than I expected. In the end though, this one feels like an easier version of Egg and Mickey Mouse, which isn't entirely a good thing. At least they make it so you get 2 points for every attack prevented, which made it move a bit quicker this time around. All that said, I actually did pretty bad at first. It took me a moment to wrap my head around the exact timing of everything, and I lost 2 lives by 18 points. However, after this, things clicked, and it was smooth sailing from here on out. Despite this awful beginning, I made it all the way to 200, reaching my target and earning a life refresh. I ended up making it all the way to 648 on this one, losing most of my lives to the fact that I often misjudged when the guy from the bottom was attacking. That means I made it to 648 on my very first attempt. After this, I switched to Game Mode B. As is the case with some of these games, I couldn't really tell what was different in this mode. Looking it up, it appears that in Game Mode A, they would only attack at most 3 sides at once, and in this one they would attack from all 4. It didn't really make a whole lot of a difference in the end though, as Game Mode B also went smoothly. I got to 200 points on my first try again, and made it all the way to 668 points, which was even better than my run in Game Mode A. With that, Game & Watch Fire Attack was complete. On to the review. Controversial themes aside, I didn't find this one to be all that interesting anyway. It feels a bit too similar to Egg and Mickey Mouse, and I wasn't a huge fan of those ones to begin with. It was nice that it moved by faster, and its easier difficulty might be nice if you wanted to play one of these a bit more casually. However, due to the lack of challenge, I got bored even quicker than usual, resulting in a score of 5 out of 10. Thanks for watching the video. If you want to see more of these in the future, make sure you subscribe to the channel so that you won't miss out on the next one. Also leave a like if you enjoyed it, since it'll help the channel grow and motivate me to continue this series. I hope I will see you in the next step of my quest to beat every Nintendo game.